Hello, our viewers. You're welcome. This is Teacher Agaba Ashraf, and this time round we are heading on to item 5 and 6 under the UNEB, which was done 224 October 14th. So this time round, we are looking at the areas of construct when we are looking at section B of this paper, part 2 of it. So when you look at this item 5 and 6, the theme of which we construct these two items, which are 5 and 6, it is geometry and measures. Under geometry and measures, we look at geometrical applications, measurement, construction, such things. So the topics under this theme, we have geometrical construction, we have bearing, we have general angle properties of geometric figures, we have reflection, business arithmetics, we also have time and timetables, similarities and enlargement, circles, rotation, trigonometry 1 and 2, three-dimensional figures. Look at item 5, basically. It says, your sister bakes cakes and has received an order for a cake from your friend, Joseph, who needs a cylindrical cake with a base area of 660.5 centimeters squared. Your sister has suggested two payment plans to Joseph. He can pay 400,000 shillings cash or pay a deposit of 200,000 and two equal installments of 110,000 each. However, Joseph has found it hard to decide on the payment plan. Your sister has a triangular board that she wants to use to cut out the circular tray on which the base of the cake will sit. The two sides of the triangular board measure 60 centimeters and 48 centimeters, and the angle between these sides is 60 degrees. Your sister is not sure whether the largest circular tray, inscribed circle, she can cut out of the triangular board will be enough for the base of the cake. Task: which of the two payment plans will you recommend Joseph? Give a reason for your answer. Part B, determine whether the largest circular tray she plans to cut out of the triangular board will be enough for the base of the cake. So this item has two parts, and the first part tells us to actually relate the amounts that is going to pay. Now, when you look at this item and relate it to the topics that we have here, you realize that they are talking of inscribing. We are looking at a circular, we are looking at a triangular board of which we want to extract out a circular tray. So when you look at this, we have geometrical construction of which we are extracting out a circular tray. And then this takes us to circles. When you look at, when you analyze this, you realize that there are some angles. So in relating angles, we have some angle properties within that item. Then we have a part where we are saying that your sister suggests to Joseph the two payment plans. You realize that the two payment plans are incurring. They have something relating to what? To business arithmetic. So the next thing that you can look at here, I think that is basically all on that. Now, as we look at this item, we want to look at task A, which is the best option that Joseph has to take from the advice given by the sister. Now, for part A, you realize that we must look at higher purchase because we want to compare the two. Can you pay cash or pay on installments? So let's look at the higher purchase. Higher purchase price is equal to the deposit plus the installments. Now, saying that you can pay cash of 400,000 and you can pay a deposit, which is the alternative, of 200,000 shillings, and then pay 2 equal installments of 110,000. So we realize that the deposit here is 200,000 plus installments of 110,000, but he has to pay 2 installments. So what we do, we multiply this by 2. So in actual sense, we shall have 200,000 plus 220,000. Then this gives us the final amount. When we add 200,000 to 220,000, we shall get 420,000 shillings. So if the person, if Joseph wishes to take up the higher purchase, paying a deposit and then equal installments, because he may not have all the money, which is 400,000 on cash basis, he might not have it all at that point or at that time. But he wishes to pay some small amount, which is the deposit of 200,000, and then pay later in terms of installments. This is the amount he will pay at the end of the last installment. Now, we need to compare it on cash basis. The cash basis has 400,000. If at all you want to pay direct, you pay 400,000, which means that when you pay in installments or when you pay on higher purchase terms, there will be some more amount, as you are seeing here. So we need to get the difference. The difference is, we have 420,000 minus 400,000, then we shall get 20,000. So which means that Joseph will pay 20,000 more on purchase terms or on higher purchase terms than on cash basis. So the option, the task is telling us which option should he take. So he should take an option of paying in cash, because once he pays on higher purchase terms or installments, he will pay more money. So we shall say Joseph, advise Joseph should pay cash since he pays 20,000 more on higher purchase terms. So this is the advice we are giving to Joseph in relation to the what? To the task part A. So you realize that when you buy a phone on higher purchase, you pay some deposit and then you keep on paying some monthly installments, or they can be weekly installments, you end up paying a bigger amount of money than when you pay cash for that phone. Now, as we have done part A of this item, we have seen that it basically had business arithmetic. We say that most of these items will be in 2 parts, most of them, but not all. So realize that the second part, it takes us to geometrical construction. And under geometrical construction, we shall need a pair of compasses, we shall need our ruler, and then a protractor as well to see what are the angles, whether they are accurate. So when you look at part B of the tasks, it is telling us to see whether, to check whether the tray that has been cut out of the triangular board is actually enough for the cake. So we realize that on part B, we are given the area, base area of the cake. It is the base area of the cake. It is 660.5 centimeters squared. So how do we check whether the circular tray that we are cutting out of the triangular board will be, the cake will fit on it? So what we do, have to construct. After constructing, we inscribe to show that we are cutting out that circular part. Then we look for the area of that circular tray, get the area, and then compare it with this. Is it smaller than this or is it bigger than this? Then that's when you can conclude to see whether it what? it will fit. So at this point, we need to come up with a sketch, and under this sketch, we see that we have a triangular board. On this triangular board, we have 60 centimeters, we have 48 centimeters, and between these two lengths, we have an angle of 60 degrees. So this is our sketch, but you cannot measure 60 degrees on a ruler. It will be too long to fit on the what? On the paper, on the construction sheet. So what we need to do, we need to come up with a scale. This scale we shall say, let 1 centimeter represent, let's use 10 centimeters. Let 10 centimeters represent 1 centimeter. So if at all we have 48, it means that 48 will be approximately 4.8 cm. Then 60 will be approximately 6.0, which is 6 centimeters. So we're actually dividing by the scale we have chosen. So what we do, we are now going to the construction part. But we say that when we are dealing with figures, we must have a title. So the title for this part, after having this sketch, which has helped us during the analysis of this second part of the item, we have it as an accurate diagram showing a circular tray cut out from a what? From a triangular board. So we need to start up by drawing a horizontal line while constructing this. So the horizontal line, we have it as this point. After drawing this horizontal line, we can have a single mark. So from this single mark, we can get our pair of compasses. We now need to construct 60 degrees. But before we construct 60 degrees, we can measure the length, which is actually 6 centimeters, because we need it along the horizontal. So you get your ruler, then put to the 0 mark, then adjust the compass up to when it reaches 6 centimeters. Make sure that you are accurate. Then after that, put the compass here at the mark which you have made, then draw an arc. So this arc we have drawn is actually showing us that this is a length of 6 centimeters. So the next thing we need to do is to construct 60 degrees. So what we do to construct 60 degrees, we still go to the same mark which we initially made, then adjust to a small radius maybe, then draw a small arc around that point. After drawing a small arc to meet the horizontal line, go to where it has met the horizontal line, this point there, then draw an arc to cross out with the other. So we mark this point here where the two arcs are meeting, and then we get our roller and then join the initial mark with the 60 degrees. So actually, this will give us the 60 degrees that we want. So this angle here is 60 degrees. So we say that the length between, we have the length here as 6 centimeters, and this length should be 4.8, and the angle between them is 60. So we still measure 4.8. Make sure that we are accurate. Get your compass, put it on the ruler, then measure 4.8 centimeters. After that, we are now going to have it like this. Like that, we draw an arc. After drawing an arc, we can now join this point to this point so that we can form the triangle that we need. So we get our ruler, join the 2 points, this point here and this point here. So you can join it like that. So this length that we have measured is actually 4.8 centimeters. So this is the triangle that we have. Now the second part that we are going to the part where we inscribe. We want to get a cutout, and the scenario is telling us that it should be inscribed. We want the largest trait that can be cut out from this triangular board. Now, in the process of inscribing, what we need to actually do, we bisect any two angles. When circumscribing, we bisect any two lengths. When circumscribing, you look at this length, you drop a perpendicular bisector on it. You look at this length, you drop a perpendicular bisector on it. But since we are now inscribing, we shall bisect the angles. So we can bisect this angle here. We put our compass pinpoint here, then choose a radius at that point, draw an arc to meet that line, draw an arc to meet that line, and after we move to that point, don't change the radius, still draw an arc there, draw another arc there. So where there is this intersection, we mark the point of intersection of the two arcs, get a ruler, and then join this vertex which we are bisecting, because we are bisecting this angle between these two lines. So what we do, we draw a dotted line to make sure that there is a difference between the angle bisectors and the lines that form the triangle. So this is what we have. We do the same. You can either bisect this angle here, or you can bisect the angle there. To make sure that the work looks neat, we can look at bisecting this upper angle. But if you wish, you can also bisect this angle. So we adjust the compass to a suitable radius, put to that vertex, then draw an arc. So we are going to draw an arc here. We draw another arc there to meet those two lines. Then we move to this point. We draw an arc. Then put this point here. We draw an arc there. So we have a point here where the two arcs are meeting. We are going to join the point where these two arcs are meeting to the vertex of which we are bisecting that angle. So this will give, we use a dotted line like that. So these dotted lines are the angle bisectors. So we now mark the point where these two angle bisectors are actually meeting. Then we get our compass, adjust it to touch the vertex, to touch the edge. When it touches the edge, don't draw the circle yet. Come this side so that you can see whether it is touching the edge. Then you adjust it a bit if it is not touching, like that. Like that. We are checking whether it is actually an inscribed what? Circle. So we now draw our circle like that, like that, like that. So it may not be accurate since we are using the blackboard. So it is coming like this. So this is what we have. This is the circle that we have formed. And that inscribed circle, we need to determine its radius. What we are going to do, after drawing this circular tray, we can name. So we have this as the triangular board. We have this as our circular tray. So we want the largest circular tray that can be extracted from this triangular board. That's why we are now looking at the inscribing, because we want that largest tray that can be extracted out from this. So after here, we can put our compass at the center of the circle, then adjust it. So it means that this is our radius. So when we place it on a ruler, we shall accurately put it here and realize that it is 1.6. Now, since we are looking at the circular tray and we have looked at the radius here, what we do, we shall use our scale. Don't forget the scale we use, because we must take it back to the original values that we started with. So it will be 1.6 times 10, and this will give us 16 centimeters. So this is the radius of the circular tray that we have extracted out. Now we can now find the area of the circular tray. The area of a circular tray is equal to pi r squared. This is our radius. So we shall now have it as 22 out of 7 times 16 times 16, because r squared is the same as r times r. So after that, you compute, and then you'll find that you have 804.5714 centimeters squared. So this is what we have. But now, how do we judge? Because on this tray that we have got, this circular tray, we want to make sure that this cylindrical cake sits on this circular tray, but we are interested in the base area because it is the one that will be in contact with this circular tray. So what we do, we shall now calculate for the unused area, because whenever we are dealing with cakes, let's say you have ever worked in a bakery, you have ever seen how a cake is designed or presented, you realize that this cylindrical cake sits on the tray or circular tray and leaves out some spaces at the sides. It is always in this form. The cake takes on that part and leaves out this area just as a design. So what we need to do, let's get the unused area. The unused area, we are going to get the area of the tray. Then we subtract the area, the base area of the cake. Then we see that part of the tray that is left unutilized. So we are going to have 804.5714 minus the 660.5. So this will give us 144.0714 centimeters squared. Make sure that the units are there to show that it is area. Now, from this we can conclude, but the conclusion will be based on the two key things. The key things are, the base area of the cake is smaller than the area of the tray, meaning that it will fit. The next thing is that when we subtract the area of the tray and the area of the base area of the cake, we have a remainder. It means that the cake sits on the tray and leaves out some part which is unutilized. So our conclusion is going to be, because we now need to respond to the task. The task tells us that, will the cake fit? It is in form of a question. Will the cake fit or not? So we shall say, therefore, the cake fits, leaving a remainder, or we can call it the unutilized area. Unutilized area of 144.0714 centimeters squared. So this is our conclusion in relation to the task. You realize that this cake fitted very well, leaving a remainder. So this is what we needed to answer item 5 of UNEB. I remain Agaba Ashraf, and subscribe to our channel, follow, and for more materials, download the CATED app. It has a lot of interesting things. It has a lot of new curriculum materials that we need to improve ourselves as learners and as well as teachers who want to explore more. Thank you very much.